right, CGA Sports back in the building, man, with another video. This is breaking news, somewhat breaking news that I want to share with you. And this is a follow-up to a previous video that I did a few days ago related to Robert Sarver, Phoenix Suns owner, and one LeBron James, in a conspiracy theories for the most part, theory that I had related to why the Phoenix Suns were under pressure for Robert Sarver to sell his team. And so the breaking news on this one is the fact that himself, Robert Sarver, is now announcing that he's preparing the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury for sale. This is going to be the news that I was waiting for. And essentially, Robert Sarver was canceled and he was removed from his ownership under pressure. All right, he's deciding to sell, but he was pressured to get out of it. NBA players started to sound off on him, namely LeBron James and now Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. And since they're sounding off on him, he felt pressure to go ahead and lose out on this situation. And don't feel sorry for him. He's selling it at a profit. He had 666 or 66% worth of the Phoenix Suns. He's going to make some money out of this. They're going to sell for probably well past $1 billion, possibly even $2 billion. And in essence, they're going to sell the Phoenix Mercuries with them. That's a WNBA franchise for those who don't know. And it's essentially worthless, but it is what it is. It's going to be included in the pot. Now, my previous video, I'm going to leave a card at the top of this video to show you why I thought this sale was going ahead and why they potentially targeted Robert Sarver to sell this franchise. Now, listen, I'm sensitive to racial issues and issues with misogyny, and obviously he was reported to be a misogynist and a racist. Obviously, those are terms that will get you removed from anywhere. And because a report came out, they targeted him. Now, I don't think he was in the same situation or the same boat as Donald Sterling, who was a notorious racist and a misogynist, but he did have some things that were able to be put in the report. And then in our sensitive culture and society, make him target and cancel a millionaire, probably close to a billionaire. And here's the story here, just so you guys can read this story. Let's pop it up right here and let's go over to ESPN as much as I don't want to. It says right here, Robert Sarver says he's starting the process to sell the NBA's Phoenix Suns and the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury. Says owner Robert Sarver says that, and he says, as a man of faith, I believe in atonement. Okay, and the part of forgiveness. Sarver said in a statement on Wednesday, I expected that the commissioner's 1-year suspension will provide that time for me to focus, make amends, and remove my personal controversy from the team that I and so many fans love. And just so you guys know how rich people think, this hold on for a second. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Oh man,
turning your squad into a
anyway, just so you guys know how rich people think, these things aren't about the worth of the franchise. Obviously, you buy a franchise for power and prestige, to be able to have money and have your reputation and be able to seen as a person in your community, mainly to give back, but of course to keep your status in the community. And that's what he has the franchise for. And he's going to lose out on that, unfortunately. And you guys can't see this very well, so I'm going to minimize it so you guys can see me. It says right here, Sarver was suspended for 1 year and fined $10 million last week after an NBA investigation found that he used the N-word at least 5 times when recounting the statements of others. That's an important note there. So he wasn't targeting people. As a matter of fact, his head coach is a black guy. His general manager, I believe, is a black guy. Chris Paul, most of their franchise people that he pays millions and millions of dollars to are black men. But of course, they're going to say he was a racist because he was recounting the statements of others, potentially his own players in the locker room, using the N-word. All right, which is absolutely crazy to me that he actually got this. But again, it is what it is. Sarver was also involved in the instance of inequitable conduct towards a female employee. He probably said, look at them toddies and look at all that. Look at what you pack in them jeans. And ESPN, what is going on? Oh, man. That's the second interruption by ESPN's thing here. So we're going to go ahead and close out ESPN for interrupting me. Good Lord. But as you can see here, according to this video, Robert Sarver is about to lose out handsomely in this situation and come up. So now, if you don't have time to check out my next video, my previous video on this one, Robert Sarver, I believe, has been targeted for possibly a pickup of the Phoenix Suns and possibly a future move to Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is targeted for a franchise. And since they see the success of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, they obviously see the somewhat similar success of the Las Vegas Raiders to pull in fans, not only from the Raiders organization, the people who support the Raiders, but they're also bringing in massive amount of fans to come into Las Vegas and come on vacation. I believe that this potentially might be the long-term plan for this franchise. Now, people are going to look at that and dispute it. I'm not sure. Phoenix, they seem to be doing decent there, but for long term, it might not be the thing here. They're signed to a lease in that Talking Stick Arena until about 2037, but there is a buyout of about $200 million, which if you tack onto the organization that might sell for $2 billion, $200 million could be easily split, or a negotiation could be made to break that lease or at least pay off Talking Stick to walk the other way. And obviously Talking Stick would be out of business, right? The arena would be out of business because nobody else plays there but the Phoenix Suns, as far as I know, other than concert venues and that. The Phoenix Coyotes or the Arizona Coyotes play in a little college stadium, and there goes that. So this might be a situation because of that. But I believe that this is the long-term play and strategy to do so. And I pretty much summed it up in this video. Putting a franchise where they're putting in a franchise that's a exhibition, not an exhibition, but a franchise that's a beginning stages into a market like Las Vegas. I don't think it doesn't create the culture like it would do the hockey team, the Vegas-born Golden Knights. I think you have to have an established franchise, particularly with established players that has a history or track record of winning. And then you can actually create a culture potentially where you have some minority ownership. You possibly thinking long term here. This sale is not going to happen tomorrow. Possibly you bring in a LeBron James at the end of his career. You might be able to pair him up with his son and play for a year or two, and all of a sudden build the credibility of the franchise up. And therefore you got something long standing. But anyway, I could be speaking out of my tail on this one, but I don't believe I am. I believe I'm on the right track, and look for LeBron to be at least a minority owner in this within a year or two of this sale, him by himself out of the Lakers contract, potentially play for the Phoenix Suns or the Las Vegas Suns, and then them draft LeBron James's son with the draft pick potentially, or a draft pick in a trade. Also, they're also looking at the NBA getting rid of the one and done rule that will allow high school players to jump right into the league. They're actually considering taking that off the books, which could happen in a year or two, which my theory could come to fruition. Anyway, man, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Shout out to the Coach Gang for being here. And we out of here. Peace.